won't try to sleep with you. Yes, I love you and I really wanna be with you. You can put your trust in me and I will never cheat
Tell them what they want to hear.
Girl, you know you're looking good today.
Tell them what they want to hear.
I think about you almost every day.
Tell them what they want to hear.
Oh, girl, you know you got a pretty face.
Tell them what they want to hear.
You're not too big, you're just taking the way.
Tell them what they want to hear. Tell them what they want to hear.
Tell them
what they want to hear.
Want to
Tell them what they want to hear. 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 Tell them what they want to hear.
Never met someone so beautiful. Baby girl had everything. Girl, I want you to know you're the finest girl I ever seen. You need to be on the TV screen. I'm taking pictures.
Look, I'm coming to you with an urgent message. Every single one of our followers, our fans, I gotta let you know something.
Oh, man, it's happening too fast. Look, people don't want you to be notified of what we're doing here. They don't want you to be notified when we go live. And then now you get sad because you didn't realize we were live and you missed all that information that you took. Oh, God, they're after me. Look, all you gotta do is click the bell. Just click the bell, and you'll be notified every time we go live. I promise you. Look, hurry up. I ain't got a lot of time. Let's go.
We are oppressed. We are exploited. We are downtrodden. We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights. So the only way we're going to get some of this oppression and exploitation away from us or aside from us is come together against the common enemy.
Hey, everybody. Hope everybody's having a great day. I feel great. I look great. And I got a lot of salt and pepper in my beard. So I have no idea what's going on with that. But I got both of my co-hosts on here. They both, we already know that Miss Hills be pleading the blood of Jesus on her connection. So
you already know.
So she here, I'm here. Mac is also here. He's going to be on audio all night. He might jump in from time to time on visual, but he's going to be on audio all night. So again, I just want to welcome everybody. Another night, Unfiltered, season 4. This is our episode 11. We got a great episode for you now. I'm going to let my co-host, my great co-host of the best podcast, best podcast in the land, say what they're going to say. We're going to start with Miss Hills, and then we're going to work our way to Mr. Reese. Miss Hills, please introduce yourself to our fans.
Hello, all you wonderful people. This is Mrs. Hills checking in. Excited for what we have in store for you. These are going to be excellent conversations, as always. I just hope y'all really take notes tonight. Do a real reflection, whatever you got to do, so
Hey,
we
give
can
me a
grow
thumbs
up.
up if y'all can hear me.
We can level
All
up.
right, now the bad part is I can't hear none of y'all. I'm gonna work on that.
We can hear you real good.
Yeah, we hear you awesome. We hear you.
We hear you real crystal clear.
We can hear you excellent.
Crystal clear. But yeah, we got a lot in store for you guys, and we just want y'all to enjoy yourself. Really jump into the conversation. Don't be scared in them comments. Say what you gonna say. That's all.
I can't hear you, but here we go. We got to work our way a little bit for Mr. Reese, but watch this. Watch the miracle of technology. This was wonderful with technology. He just went off. That's the miracle of technology. When people just can click off. Mr. Reese, he probably gonna be going through this all night because y'all got to keep in mind he's away at work, but as a faithful person that he is, he's still on the show, so we thank him for that. Next, as y'all see, I blew out my instance camera. Let me tell you, it's called Stormy Nights. Now I'm not showing the name of it because they ain't paying us, so you don't get free advertising.
I can hear y'all. Cool.
There we go. Get free advertisement. So I'm not showing y'all the name, but it's a beautiful scent. Once they pay us, then I'll share the name. But it's a beautiful scent. It's awesome. But yeah, Mr. Reese, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is your boy, Mr. Reese, 1/3 at Unfiltered. Please continue to share, like, and subscribe. I know y'all can't see my beautiful mug, but I got a beautiful picture y'all can see. Unfortunately, I can't be on the video camera right now, but I am excited for these topics, and I am ready to be engaged.
We really got two topics tonight, but they're two so in-depth topics that it is just going to be an amazing show. We're looking forward to them. Before we get into everything else, I'm hoping just doing a mental check with everybody. How everybody doing tonight? I'm talking to my host. How y'all doing tonight? Mental check-in. How everybody feeling? How you doing? Where you at mentally?
I'm doing pretty good. Today's been a great day.
Yeah, doing pretty good today. Taking it one day at a time. You know how life gets you by, and stuff gets you. But hey, keep your faith in God, keep moving, and it's the best we can do. And that's just how I'm taking it. It's a lesson to learn every day.
Absolutely. And the only other thing I'll say myself doing good, probably I'm be honestly in the headspace aspect, this is probably the best headspace aspect I've been in years. Feeling
Wow, that's awesome.
just
That's what's up.
so it's
Yeah.
been my best in years. I think, and where I think it really is coming from, and I can't say this enough to people, is really controlling the things that you can control. I know that sounds like an overstatement, but it's really not. Is understanding that there's only some aspects of things that you can control, and those things you can't control, you give it up and shoot. To be honest with you, some of the things you can control, give it up. In all honesty,
Yes, sir.
keep yourself good and get the point. But it's good to hear all of y'all in that good headspace right now, day to day, one at a time. Love it. There we go. Miss Kathy finally got her T-shirt. She is cracking up. That means Mac delivered it to you.
No, hey, look. All right, look. There's a story about that T-shirt. It wasn't delivered. It was actually a pickup to go. She came to the house and was like, "Where's my shirt?" I was like, picked me up against the wall, kicked me down the stairs, and I went and got the shirt. But no, she came over, saw us. It was really good to see her. Saw our god babies, dropped them off some bikes and stuff. And then, yep, she beat me up and got her shirt. She said, "Tell Randy that he next."
Oh, Miss Kathy, just know I've been gave it to him. just know that, Miss Kathy. I've been gave it to him. I told you that already. We already established that. But in other words, the only other thing I want to talk about before we get to our talk, look, she said, "Man."
What'd she say?
She's like, "Man." Like it's been a minute. Other thing I want to say is that this weekend, if any of y'all are into TV, this weekend was the perfect weekend for television?
Man, Power was lit.
Between Power,
Football was
what's
lit.
that? Between Ozark, between the NFL playoffs, my goodness.
Power. Don't forget Power.
Oh yeah, no, yeah, I thought Power too. It was a great week. It was a great weekend of TV. All of y'all who don't watch Power or don't watch Ozark or don't watch football, I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. You know, I hope your favorite shows came on. But it was a great week all together. Great, incredible football games. People that ain't watch football talking about them games. Like these incredible games this weekend. So hopefully this weekend got a lot to live up to. But outside of that, everything else, good weekend, good. I know people got that saying good vibes, all that good stuff, but let's get into it. I want Miss Hills to introduce this first topic. Because when she gave it to us, I was right on it. I was like, this is it right here. Bam. This is a great and awesome topic. And I'm gonna let her introduce it to you all. And then, like I say, like, subscribe, share, comment, get in on it. Let's talk about it. Ms. Hills, go ahead and tell them this wonderful topic that you introduced to us.
Yes. Okay. Well, I was looking through. Can you hear me? Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
Okay, there we go. My phone, technical difficulties. Okay, so I was looking through YouTube, and I follow this one channel, and they were having a conversation about relationships. And it made me think about relationships because we've been talking about it last week and a few weeks before that. And it made me think about how do we sit back and think and reflect about the effect our past relationships have had on how we interact with our current relationship. And even if we're not in a relationship with someone else and it's how we work and affect with our spouse, it's more so about us. How has it changed you, or how has it made you look at and act different in your relationship?
And I know you thought you said, because I know you said you walked through the channel. So what made you get like what was this one that made you say, okay, this is something I really want to hit on, even though I know this is like really one of the biggest messages of the day. What hit you with this one? What made this one made what made it go like bing, almost like a light bulb moment for you?
This what this was a great topic. I had to take a second to actually reflect. What I want to talk about. So I wait for Fifi, but just to let everybody know, if you didn't already tell them, I may be in and out of the chat, but I am still here. All right. You want to wait for Felicia? You want to let
Oh
me
no,
go?
go ahead, because I know she coming back.
All right. I'll be honest on this particular topic. I think it took. Hey Felicia, are you here with us?
Okay, I'm back.
You can go. You can go.
I
You
don't
can
know
finish.
what happened, but the question is, how has your past relationships affected your current relationship you're in right now? Whether that be with yourself, if you're in a relationship by yourself, or if you're with a spouse.
I think Randy asked you a question. I'll let you answer it. Then, if you want me to go, I can go, or you can go. It's up to you. I think
Okay, what was the question?
he said um what oh my goodness, like what was the light bulb, like what made you want to ask this question, like what attracted you to like this topic?
Oh, yes. That's what I was trying to say before my technology went to act crazy. So, as we've been talking about relationships, it made me want to ask this question because I feel like we have conversations about relationships, but they're
Mm.
always surface level. They're never deep. You never
Mhm.
really like sit. You always hear relationship talk about another person versus you reflecting on yourself or looking at how the things that you went through in your past relationships, how it's carried forward. When we go through things in life, we don't always take the time to reflect on it and just understand how did it change us or did it affect us. So that's how the conversation I
Mhm.
wanted to bring to the table with this came about, because I'm like, we don't talk about where we are right now. Like Randy did perfect. He said this is the best he's been in years. But I'm sure he had to reflect on these years to know, yeah, I wasn't doing as good as I thought I was
Right.
mentally. Now I'm in a better place. And I can see and identify I'm in a better place because I had to look back on my past and see what were the components happening or taking place that made me feel like I was doing good, but I couldn't see I really wasn't doing as good as I am now.
Right.
So that's how it got me to thinking about this question and wanting to propose it to y'all, because we're all in relationships with significant others. We have spouses. And even in our relationship with ourselves, I just wanted to see, like, how is everybody doing? How has it affected you?
All right. Felicia or Randy, I just want to tackle this first only because I like to just get mine out the way so I can just learn from you too. So let me go ahead and just go really quick. Just first off, when I heard this question, I was just trying to go back in my relationships and think like, okay, well, how they ended, why they ended, and everything, and how I ended up in the marriage that I'm in right now. Um, one thing that I learned and grew from, like, I never thought that I was the problem in any of my relationships. Like, um, I even forgot how they ended at this point. Um, Another thing that I think that I actually learned from myself is that I I never actually worked on a relationship. Every relationship I've been on prior to Crystal, I never desired to change or desire like to be better because I thought I was good. I felt like, I want to say spiritually, I was more into, spiritually than the person I was with. And, just other little stuff that I'm like, okay, well, you know what, I'm good there, I'm good here, I'm good there. I didn't have to change or learn. And I didn't bother to want to change neither because I thought I was all right. And lo and behold, I'm in a marriage where things go wrong. I'm like, okay, well, I wanted to work, so I knew that I had to change for myself. It's like, well, damn, I don't consider this, or I don't consider that, or like I never thought that I could do something to make somebody feel some kind of way, and I would have to change it because I love them, you know. And in the past, I just never thought that I could. I never thought that it was something wrong. That hey, if somebody broke up with me is because of whatever. I broke up with somebody. It's like whatever. It wasn't even any. I didn't feel any regret on anybody that I dated before. Like, okay, well, I broke up with you. Think I could have done better. I just never felt that way. And actually being in a marriage with somebody I wanted to marry, I almost say it's tougher than any relationship I've been in because I want to make it work. And sometimes, like we it's a lot easier said than done because that person has to try too. And not saying that she's not, she hasn't tried. I'm not saying that, but it it makes me feel good that I can make my spouse feel good. When in the past I didn't care about that. I just cared about me. Or like, all right, well, hey, if I'm not happy, then there's something wrong with me in this situation. Versus assessing that, hey, maybe there's something wrong with me and I can make this situation better. Um, so like this is the first relationship, like I would say intimate relationship that I actually tried to work, make better, and develop and learn from. And like I said, and this is a relationship I'm never gonna stop learning, and I'm never gonna stop improving. So it's definitely it was definitely an eye opening question for real. But like enough about how I feel. I just want to really get information from you guys.
You was right on. I'm sitting here
Okay,
listening. I was
listen,
like,
I was
okay.
in like, yeah, say that.
I'm saying
Because
that.
I agree with a
Yeah.
lot of people saying.
Yeah, it's like just honestly like being with like being with Crystal and like we don't get me wrong, she's wrong. Like we both have our flaws and have things we can work on, but like when you actually like sit back and think about it, or just seeing where I was before or what we were before to where we were now, it's like damn, well I should have been more this and that, or I could have done this and that, and it's like I'm just continuing to learn, like like I'll give an example, like in one of my past relationships. I never thought that I needed to mature because I thought I had manners. And the young lady was asking me, well, like, why you never open the door for me or do A, B, C, D? And I was like, well, I already, we already together, and we already having sex. Like, why do I need to do it? I just never, like, I just never grew, or I thought like, why I need to do it, or like, like something simple in the marriage, like closing the toilet seat. It's just so simple, but yet like I'm like you could close it yourself. I mean, it's just like something so small can be something so impactful. Like, okay, well, hey, let me learn how to make you happy, and this is what makes me happy. And as long as both of those individuals try to make each other happy by first being happy with themselves, you know, it definitely gets better. So, like I said, my biggest thing is that I want to feel good, and I also want to make the person I'm with feel good. So that's what I took from.
That was dope. I agree with the almost everything that you were saying because I feel like as someone who is married as well, for me, number one, this is the longest relationship I ever been in. Not by choice, but I haven't had that many relationships. I can count on one hand how many relationships I've had. And I could never be in a relationship past a year. I was like, what is going on? Like, what is, like you said, I'm like, but mine was the opposite. I always thought it was me. I'm like, okay, it's just me. They come and present themselves the way they are and they doing what they doing. And I'm just like, I'm me and this is who I am, but I'm still learning me. I'm still discovering me. I'm
Right.
still trying to get confident and firm in me. So I feel like when I was in those relationships, I was still learning who I was and learning how not to compromise. So I feel like that's always why the relationships ended because I would get to the point where I'm like, no, this not it for me. I thought it was it when we got into it, but no, it's not. But I would wait it out. I would go through the motions. I would really like make an effort, try to figure out, okay, how can we make this better? And I just was like, at the end of the day, I got to the point where it was like, it's not going to get better because we want different things. And I can't change you and make you be who I want you to be for me and meet my needs if you ain't already coming that way. And this is vice versa. So it always would end because they would be like, you haven't changed and this is what you want and I'm not for that. I try to adjust myself accordingly and, be about that life for you, but in real life, I'm not. And I'm like, that's cool. I get it. I'm the same, so now I'm in my marriage and it's the same type of thing where it's like, you have to learn one another. And it's like, for me, that's another reason why I brought this question up is because I feel like so many people don't take the time to learn how to grow in relationships. They just don't like something and they quit. I didn't like that and I quit. It affected me to the point where I didn't like it. So then I got closed hearted and I just was like, no, I'm okay. I don't want to be in a relationship. Or they got hurt and was like, well, I'm just about to be out here for the streets and be out here for everybody. So with understanding that for myself and my relationship and the way me and my husband set up, it's an everyday thing. It's like you really have to take time to see what has happened to your spouse. How did they become raised up? What kind of situations were they in? Even thinking about what kind of relationships did they have before they got with you and how it affected them and if they even dealt with it. For me, that's where I'm at right now. Me and my husband, we're going through where we're like, okay, this is our time to heal. Together, we've been through so many things. We have so much stuff happening. We have so much stuff going on.
Right.
But then at the same time, individually, we're like, okay, we married, but we can't take time away from healing individually as well, even though we're one. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm reflecting on everything that I've done in my life and where I am right now, and even looking at how, you know, I treat my husband and how I love my husband, and learning that I have unconditional love for him that's conditional, if that makes sense. And
Yeah.
I'm learning that because a lot of people
That makes
don't
perfect sense. I'm
understand.
sorry, to cut you.
Mhm.
Perfect sense.
Yeah, it's like you got to go through understanding you in order to understand how you want to be loved, how you want to be treated, how you want to be appreciated, all of that. And I feel like I said, as a community, we don't do it. It's just, it's, to be honest, we always talk about cancel culture, but we have cancel culture within us. If we get in a relationship and it ain't going the way we don't like it, or it's going crazy or whatever, we be like, no, I'm cool. And we move on to the next thing. And that's not always bad. That's a lot of times for the best. But sometimes we just get in that pattern where we just like, we keep going to the next one. Like, you didn't heal from the last relationship and now you just got another boyfriend or you got another female.
Right.
You didn't take time in between to really process and develop. And that's where we need to get to. We need to develop for ourselves. We need to, like you said, deal with our mental health. We need to deal with our heart. You know, if we got hurt, admit it, especially as me. And I know y'all be like, no, I'm cool. I'm just going to move on to the next and keep it moving. And it's harder for y'all to express y'all emotions. But it's cool because even though us women are more emotional and we express it, we're like y'all in so many ways, because when we get upset and we get to that point where we're done, then we like, it ain't nothing you can say or do to change or phase where I'm at right now. It's just, it is what it is. So yeah, that's what I gotta say. I'm in process right now. I'm healing. I'm working on it, doing my work. My husband doing the same, so we can be better as one. Go ahead. Come on.
Great job,
I'm ready for
Fifi.
Why
this.
she say that like that too? Why she
Come
just say
on.
that
I'm
to
ready
me
for
like
this. I've been
that?
waiting.
I feel like for myself, it's funny, you know, from being married and then being in a relationship, and I think I represent that majority of Americans who they've did the walk down the aisle, and they've also done the walk down the hallway to the divorce lawyer.
To the court.
Yeah, you know what I mean. So from the church to one Woodward Ave. And just in case you don't know where that is, Detroit, that's where you go to get divorced. But it's you know, the biggest thing I noticed from marriage, one, I think marriage is an awesome thing. I think marriage is awesome. I think it's incredible. It's a bigger commitment than buying a house.
Mm-hmm.
Bigger commitment than um buying a car. It's a bigger commitment than signing for student loans. And also with marriage, it also has the lastest, you know, the longest effect
Mm-hmm.
on you, because it could do some, it could do a number on you if it's bad.
Yeah.
And it could do a number on you if it's good.
Yes, sir.
And and that's what I
Yep.
mean by that. Just for myself, I can only speak to the things I've been through. I know that I tell you, the biggest thing I realized, the changes, the thing I had changed from marriage that I noticed with myself was how arrogant I was. That's big. That's something that I never thought I would say to myself, but
Yes, sir.
I
Yep.
was an arrogant. I was a very arrogant individual. Um, it it was almost to the point that even with my marriage, um, wasn't even thinking with the things that happened. It wasn't so much that they happened to me. It was like almost like it was an insult to me that it happened. And I'm trying to really word that the right way. It was like I wasn't mad what was done. I was mad on how easily it was done, and what I felt like was such a like ugh, like really, it was almost like a disgust. So when I was doing all of it was a disgust to me, and that transferred emotionally for me, not to me arguing, but it transferred to me being extremely cold, cold to the place where I didn't care about no feelings. I didn't care how you felt. I was gonna make you pay, and it was bad. I was 2011 was a bad year. It was just a bad year. I got cold. I put it on my so like, man, I don't care what it is. I was gonna say everything. I was digging for oil, and I had to strike it about 150 times because I was ready to go for blood. And it was just like that. I would say really derogatory things. It didn't even make no sense. I'm like, why? I would say things like, I can't believe I wasted time and energy on you. Like,
Mhm.
like you disgust me. Why we even talk? Like, look, don't raise your hand if you want to talk to me. I would be very, like, even a bigger a-hole than what people may consider now. I was being really bad, so it was like my opinion was, how could you do that? You pretty much, in my arrogance, like you had the world. How many men telling you, don't worry about working? You got it. And then you get everything that you want. And then you go off and not like you decided that you want to try to do something with someone of lesser quality than me. Yeah, that didn't sit right with me. I was like, and I would just say stuff like, won't you go? Why ain't you going over there with them? You want to know why? Because there ain't no room for him and you and your kids and his kids on his mama couch. That's why. Like, you should be disgusted at yourself. You downgraded. You took the fourth runner up. And I was like I was really like cold, but I was just saying, anything I knew that could hurt feelings,
Mhm.
I said it. I was like, I'm about to say it. I'm hurting your feelings out here because you know why? You got me looking stupid. You
Mhm.
got me out here looking stupid. I'm looking real stupid. I didn't I didn't try to protect, keep our business our business. You didn't want to do that because you kept doing stupid stuff. You kept doing it like you want to be caught. Now you caught. There you go. You could have just left. You know that, right? You could have just left. You could have just said no. It made me go back and like retrace because that's how anger do, man. You be searching. I was
Mhm.
trying to retrace and everything. I was like, I'm about to like everything. You could have said no. You could have just let it burn right there. Nah, but no. What you do? You come here and make me do this. You make me come up here, be the good guy. I look like the gimp who doing everything for the kids, doing everything for you, doing everything for this. And now I got to sit here with with this stupidity look on my face. Like, I don't, like, what the heck happened? And that's exactly what it was. Like, what happened? Because you didn't do nothing to get, done wrong. So it was like bad. And then after all that hard, stuff and, like giving her divorce papers, going down to all the little, the stuff, the process. Divorce is horrible. Let me just let people know that. It is horrible. And it ain't a nice process. Even in the best divorce, they try to. I'm
Mhm.
laughing at a lot of these Hollywood couples that they do all these. Let's put these arm around each other and let's make
Acting like everything all
let's
good, we
make it a
cool.
tag. Let's make it like we in
Make it
total
look like
agreement.
we good, but we
Yeah, let's
ain't.
make it like it's total agreement. Like as we journey to this new step in our uncoupling, we want to say that we are being the best of friends, the best. I'm like, shut up. No, you're not.
Y'all not talking.
A divorce is not a happy time frame. And anybody that tell y'all that is lying. They're saying it over and over again because they're trying to convince themselves. It's
Mm.
not a good thing. Two people that says we're gonna call it like we think it's just part of our journey. It's better to go our separate ways. That ain't a good thing. That wasn't no good thing. So when I see people do that, I'm like, y'all lying, y'all fronting. So I just remember the best thing I could tell people after the damage that I gave, and you notice I'm saying this, that I gave myself
Mm.
is
Mm.
getting to the point where I was like, I am never going to deal with women in this way again. This is what I'm going to do. I'm going to treat them as I treat them. You know, you get mad. First of all, you get upset. You like, if you can do this to me, and I'm a good guy. This ain't even no exaggeration, or I'm like trying to play innocent. It's like, man, I'm the guy. I'm coming home. I'm going to work and make sure this taken care of. You know, shoot, I give you my whole checks. I want you to take care of everything. Get the stuff that you need because I'm straight. I got everything that I need. Here you go. This is you. I'm like, I did that. You know, give you stability, reliability that you ain't worrying about when it's being paid, how it's gonna be paid, if it's gonna get paid. You never worried about that. Because you want to know why? Because you walked around in the house every day and you saw lights come on, water come on, gas is on, your cable was on, everything was on. And that's what gets you upset. And that's why I was like, when I got over that, because I was looking for, after all that stuff, I was looking for thank yous.
Mm.
That's the thing that a lot of people don't realize. You be looking for all them thank yous. You be looking for somebody to say, man, thank you so much for doing this and doing this for me. Like, what? You know, I did this. I'm like, psh. I had to get over myself because I was my own worst enemy. It wasn't her.
Mm.
I was my own worst enemy. Between the arrogance, between the overdose confidence, I took a huge ego hit that now, as I gotten wiser and more mature, I absolutely need it. It's the best thing.
Mm.
It saved my life.
Wow.
Divorce in my place saved my life. It made me become more mature, maybe become better. And I'm the one who did it. So, I mean, I'm saying I'm the one that filed. And in that in the time frame of divorce when I was there, the one thing I did do that a lot of people just don't do, like y'all said, I didn't jump into dating.
Mm-hmm.
I took my time because I had to reevaluate me. There wasn't no, everything else like that. I can't reevaluate her. I got to reevaluate myself because it's done.
Yeah.
Our chapter is over. The only thing we share now is a daughter. But I had to worry, I had to think about myself. I didn't want my daughter looking at me saying, oh, dad is miserable. And then after a while, I had to stop thinking about that because it's my life. Love my baby girl, but it's my life. I'm the one
Yep.
that's got to be cool. So,
Yep.
but I can say that's why I love this topic so much because let me put it in detail so I don't have to be talking for a long period of time. The one thing, number one, like I said, I understood my arrogance because I wasn't mad about any infidelity or any cheating. I was mad that how it would make me look. So that let me know that I honestly didn't care that much about the person that I was with, but I was
Mm.
more um, caring about my reputation.
The
So I knew that
image.
about myself. That was like, man, I can't believe this. Now everybody gonna think I'm like this and that. Not even thinking like, man, what maybe made her to cheat. And don't get me wrong, I don't condone cheating or
Yeah.
anything of that nature. But it's never 100% someone's fault. And that's the most real I could tell anybody. It's never one person's fault 100%. Other than that, I learned for myself to stop, being so preoccupied with things that don't serve a purpose in a relationship. And what I mean by that is that sometimes
That's good.
you could be a workaholic, and people really think that that's really doing something. But you're supposed to take care of your family. But you know, what's the point of working that hard if the family ain't gonna be there because they
To
never
what
get to see
extent?
you? I just because I did it. I was working 74 hours because I'm making sure my family gonna be taken care of. And the other part of it is that you can't live for the kids. And this gonna really hurt a lot of people feelings out there when it comes to this relationship talk. But you can't live for your kids. That's a mistake that men
Yep.
and women
Hmm.
do all the time. Your children are going to be
All the time.
older.
Yeah.
They are going to get their own lives. You cannot live for your children. You have to teach them how to live.
Mm-hmm.
You can't live for them. And I say that because, like I said, anybody know me know I love my daughter with all my heart. but I can't live for her. I gotta show her how to live with. Really, I have to show her how to live without me, because that's one day what she got to do. She gonna have to know how to do this on her own.
Mm-hmm.
She ain't gonna be there all the time.
Yep.
I spent all that time with my kids, everything, all the time. Parent-teacher conference, field trips, every special event, always there. Ultimate dad. But I was a horrible husband.
Mm.
I was a horrible husband. I wasn't a good husband, because them time frames that I should have been like, all right, babe, come on, let's go. I got tired of asking, and I said, forget it. Forget you. I ain't about to ask you no more to do this. I'm not gonna beg you to be with me. You know, I mean, women would love to be on my arm. If I had to beg to be with you, I ain't gonna do it till that blow to my ego. I'm like, well, do what you want. There you go. Then after that, it went cold. It was slowly but surely. It went colder and colder and colder and colder and colder, to the point I'm like, I didn't care. To the point I wouldn't care if a guy came and kissed her on the mouth on the front porch. I'm like, yeah, man, just at least take her stuff, because I don't want to be taking care of her, and you still getting the best parts. I remember the most coldest thing I ever said is that I cannot believe that you back over here, but how can I blame them? I mean, once you get to know you know you want to return it anyway. You want to return the sender. I would say a whole bunch of them, like, I would send you back on your way too. Who would want to have you? I was like I said, you did a lot of stuff cold. And then the other part I realized that, man, I had to grow up. I was selfish, and I was a mean individual. I was really mean. I was mean. Once I got hurt, I wanted to make the world feel it. So, and the only thing, I ain't take it out on everybody, but if you was the one who did it, I was taking it out on you. So that helped me do better in the future relationships that I would have, like getting mad and just saying forget it and not even talking about it and going away, because I ain't like arguing. Because I didn't like the point of saying, like, well, I got to argue about something that I'm gonna do anyway. Like, well, I'm gonna argue about what your mama do anyway. Yeah. I'm like, well, I'm gonna sit here and argue and debate with you. Like, I'll sit there and be like, I'm like, is we good? All right, boom. I'm going to. What are you doing? I'm going to do it. You know, it was disrespectful. I was immature. I was in young Randy, first marriage, 25 years old, extremely immature on the standpoint of man being married to a woman. Great with kids. Perfect with being father. Really like that. Closest you can to being a father, perfect. Husband, not good. Because you cannot, and I'm going to say this to every guy out there. If you don't like your wife, you will not respect her. It just won't happen. If you don't like her, she might as well be concrete. And I know they talk about women, like this and that. It's just like a woman who will fight with a man. She ain't got no respect for you. If she gonna fight you and try to do all this little stuff that she would do to a child, if she teach you to do the child stuff, it's a wrap. She didn't have no respect for you. When people have respect for you, they treat you a whole different type of way, even when they mad at you.
Yep.
I knew that when I didn't like my wife, it was a problem. I would go by, be in the house, pass right by her. She would say something like, I ain't sleep with you last night. Like, you ain't gonna sleep with me tonight either. I would say stuff. I mean, it would be cold and just keep on walking. I deserve a lot of those punches to the back of my neck, to my back and the face. And, I can laugh about it now because it was crazy, but I deserve some of that. I did deserve some of that because I was saying something. I put myself on the other end of that. And I'm like, dang it.
That right there is the difference.
Yeah. You put yourself on there like, dang, how would you feel if somebody said that? Like, what? So now I'm better out of that badness. Because if I understand the question correctly, if I'm answering it, I feel like I'm answering it right.
XL or large?
Yeah.
I think that the biggest thing I took out of all of that is communication. Learning how to communicate.
Yeah.
Y'all got to know each other's language.
That's important.
You got to know each other's language. You got to be fluent, and you got to become fluent in it.
Yep.
Because if you don't, y'all never be on the same page. Y'all gotta have that order. It's got to be order. Before I didn't really understand it. but you got to have order, and you need to start in dating. And the other part I understood is stop serial dating. For everybody
You
out there,
need to say that again. Say
don't
that again.
serial date. And that's what I would tell any people out there that's right now you single and you got people that they break up, you make up, break up. That's what you think. I'm telling you, what you do now when you're dating is going to translate to what you do when you're married. If you got a quit mentality when you're dating, if it ain't right, and you quit, you're gonna do it when you get married. It's just the truth because it's habitual. It's not mistakes. You're habitually doing the stuff that you do. Soon as someone don't do something that you like, you dip it. And you're never gonna make it in marriage if you do that. You're never. Because every time somebody do something to piss you off, I hate to tell you, married people piss each other off a lot.
Every day.
Yep.
Piss each other off a lot. You
That's the
don't
beauty
like
in it.
each other it's gonna be some time frames where you don't like each other. It could be over some extremely as petty as leaving the bread bag open. Like, why do you do that all the time? Why you just can't tie it up doing this? Why you tied in a knot? Why you don't use the little stringy thing to tie the bread open the closed? Like, what does it matter? The bread is closed. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? So I think that's the biggest things I learned and that I took out now. And I think that's why, to be honest, like we said, I'm in the best place in my life because it's no I'm holding stuff in.
Yeah.
Yep.
Soon as I feel like something is on the right there trying to get through the surface, it's an automatic. We go and talk about it. Like I don't know why I don't like it, but we talk about it. And I notice
Yeah.
when we talk about it, it's always misconceptions. Sometimes it's some things that's right on. You may not want to hear it, but that's what I noticed. That's what I learned different. And I think that grew me up. That's why I said I believe my divorce. I'm not saying that the divorce itself, because it's not something to cheer divorce. Sometimes it's necessary. And contrary to what people believe, it is a form of a failure. But failure is good because it teaches you what you should not do again.
Mm-hmm.
That's the best way I can describe it. Because some people are like, I feel like a failure. You're not a failure, but sometimes in the failure of that situation didn't work out, it is show you, hey, this is what you did wrong. And if you pay attention to what you did wrong instead of what the other person did, because you can't control what somebody else does.
Right.
Facts.
I can't control a cheater. I can't control a beater. I can't control somebody do that, but I control how Randy reacts to it. That's where the power is. And my reaction is boom all the time. So that's why I say it's the good thing. I would just that's what I would tell people. Communicate, 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 comprehend. Communicate, 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 comprehend. Listen. Communicate, 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 comprehend. Listen, and you should be all right. But those three things, you got to do it.
Yeah, I want to add. I want to add to that too. Making sure you have a friendship, like what you was talking about with serial dating. Like, it's a difference when you are creating friendships with these people before dating, because you need to get to know somebody before you date them. But like you said, people are serial dating where they're starting out in a romantic place. Like, okay, this could possibly go somewhere and be something before they even get to know them just as friends.
Right.
And I think that's the biggest difference too when going into marriage. When you have a friendship as the foundation, you have something to build on.
Absolutely.
Because in marriage, you can, we married, but we friends too. So sometimes for how me and my husband work stuff out, it's like, okay, we tapping in the friend zone. We best friends right now. Hey, let me tell you something real quick. You can, because it changes the dynamic of how you receive it, if that makes sense. We still married. We still husband and wife, but I gotta tap into the friend. He gotta tap into the friend. He gotta check me real quick. Listen, I don't know why you're doing this. This does not make any sense.
Right.
And I can't be like, dang, my husband don't love me or care about me because he just told me off like this. No, that's him being my friend, telling me the truth, giving me the real. And sometimes because that's what I wanted to say too. When we need to talk. I don't know what it is about them three phrases, the three words that men be like, no, everything is horrible. It's so bad. But I think it's because as women, we don't understand any other kind of way to say, I need to have a serious conversation with you real quick about how I'm feeling or what I'm going through or what I'm thinking, so that I can make sure we on the same page.
Right.
I can make sure I don't hold this in, and then it develops and grows into something else that's stupid. I need to get this out, and I think that's where people who have spouses, especially if you're married, like you said, that's going into communication. That's how you need to tackle it, one level at a time, because it grows. It's levels to it. It ain't just like I communicate, that's it. Okay, you may start out communicating, but you might have to understand how it works. Yeah, it's
Effective. That's a good word. Effective.
yeah.
Gotta be effective.
You want it to be effective and efficient. You don't want to be wasting a lot of time with a whole bunch of words when you could have said 2 words and it was just exactly what needed to be said.
And you know something else?
Yeah.
This good. I want to say, but right before you get this, man, I got a question for you about all of us. What I have realized, and I'm gonna be honest with this. Ooh, Mac, why don't you go ahead and say what you say first? I'll say this last before we get to our love. I'll say this one.
So a big thing that I really discovered that helps is love languages. I never knew how effective it was until you actually sat down and actually did like when you was touching on communication. Like just because you perceive that you're a good person, how we all talked about, especially you, Randy, you feel like, hey, I go to work every day, I do this, I do that. I'm a good person. You shouldn't do this. I felt like just because I didn't cheat, that hey, I'm a good boyfriend or a good husband, doesn't mean it just mean that okay, hey, you don't cheat, but doesn't mean that hey, you don't beat me, you don't discourage me mentally or whatever. So it was just just the love so back to the love language thing, right? So like I like receiving gifts sometimes. Like I think that's one of mine. Like if you give me a gift, like it could be a handcrafted macaroni necklace. Like but I know that there's something behind that. Like I like gifts. And so me liking gifts, I would think that, hey, my wife like gifts and she's not like a good gift receiver. Like she don't like gifts. Like she likes time. Like, all right, hey, if you stay here and watch this movie with me and you hold my hand, that means more to me than a pair of Jordans.
Yep.
And I didn't realize that till I was like prior, like when we started dating, I spent like buku money on like, okay, she should like this like that. And she ain't really rock it like that. And I was like, damn,
Wait,
like,
pause. Did your past relationships, when you was in your past relationships, did they like it when you did that?
I never spent money on them.
Oh,
like
okay.
That, to be honest, and that was another thing. Like I thought that, all right, hey, if I spend money on them, that means I want to do other stuff. So it's like I never really did it. Now Crystal, I like it was open season. Like whatever she wanted, I would try to get. And just after discovering like, hey, like what makes me happy is if you and I actually spend like intimate time together, or like hold my hand, hold me, and like I had to learn that. So I was just loving her wrong, even though it was just certain, like I said, like
it wasn't effective. It wasn't efficient.
And it wasn't, and it was just messed up. Like, okay, well, I need to make myself happy going to a relationship. Then I'm in a marriage. Like, okay, I got to make her happy. But then before I make her happy, I got to be happy. So it's like, okay, now I get it. I learn, and yeah, I just wanted to say that.
I'm tripping because that's good. I can't even really move on to the even next topic at all because it's just too much to really cover in this aspect with this particular topic. Because you brought up another aspect of that I love to say the love. I love the 5 love languages because they really make sense. I think it's a lot more, but I think these kind of cover the as a whole. Because like you said, you like receiving gifts, right, Mac? Mac like give me the gifts.
Buy me something. Give me something.
Buy me something. You know what I'm saying? But I can see that because that's like, when I see him stuff, he like, look, this is stuff I like, and when he sees something that he like, he'll make plans for it to this is what I'm about to get, and then he like that's what he got. Where somebody else like, man, I ain't doing that. He's like, but that's because that's what he loves.
Yeah,
that's what he loves. And what happens, I think, a lot of times, especially with love languages, we devalue the other person's love language. Like, what?
All the time. Like, yeah. What? Dang, nothing.
Quality time. I just bought you a Bentley. Go drive. Have quality
Okay.
time with the Bentley. Do your thing. But everybody, like I said, everybody is different in how they do things. And I think with the part that I get like the most, especially what you said, when I look at the five, I'm looking at the five right now. It's you got words of affirmation, acts of service, gifts, quality time, and physical touch. Now you would think out of all of those, and I'm looking at them, and I'm trying to figure out the one I like the word the most. I mean, like I like the most. Um, I think mine would be acts of service. I think mine would be acts of service. It's between acts of service or words of affirmation. Like, I appreciate you, Randy. Thank you so much. I appreciate you for that. That's incredible. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But really, I think maybe more acts of service. Like, the things that you do. Because I think I ain't with them people that's like talk is cheap for me. So when people like I love you, shut up. Like,
Show me.
yeah,
Show me
like
in
show
action.
me, man. I ain't from Missouri, but you got to show me. And like I just, because people say I love you so much, and they don't do, they actions so different. So that's why I like if you
Yeah.
love me, there's some things you would have did if you love me. Like if I love somebody, I ain't gonna do something I know that's gonna purposely piss them off. Purposely, I've seen people do it all the time. But I know there's a lot of people the physical touch, and don't get me wrong, I like the physical touch, but it ain't the biggest thing, you know what I'm saying? Because
Mhm.
my thing's like you physically touch me, all right. Because if I don't like you and I can't stand you, I want you touching me. Like get away from me. I don't want you touching me. I don't care if that's what your love language is. I don't love you right now. Don't touch me. So I think mine would probably be, yeah, I would probably lean more toward words of no, I think it's yeah, acts of service. Let me look up and see what that say. But acts of
Yeah,
service.
you need to take the test. So it's a
Yeah.
test that you take
So I would
before you
say,
figure out which one you
yeah, I
really
would
are.
say that
Because
before.
you'll
Let me
be
not, yeah, because I'm
surprised.
talking junk. Maybe I'll
You'll
take
be
the test
surprised.
while I'm over here.
You
But
think by reading it, you know which one it is, but once you take the test, you will
you're
see
like,
like, oh,
oh, then my junk be physical touch, and I'm talking junk about it. Like, you mean physical touch? I'm like, oh, dang, physical touch. But this is what I was about to ask y'all too. Have you learned from your relationships that is it possible for you to have a genuine friend or friends of the opposite sex and you married in a relationship? Gee, this is a hard one because let's say you grew up with somebody. See, I don't want no brown sugar
yeah.
type junk.
Well, I was about to say, that's my situation.
Mhm.
Like my best friend, me and him grew up. Now we wasn't like childhood friends, but we like was friends at least 10 years before I met my husband.
Right.
And we've never had no I want to be with you in the back of my mind situation. No, we genuinely are just friends. And
Right.
we have a great relationship. And we are still friends, even though I'm married and have my husband. But I think it's because everybody don't handle it the right way. He's respectful. Him and my husband, they ain't met in person because he live out of state, but he made sure he communicated and talked to him and let him know, like, hey, bro, this is me. This is how I'm set up. I respect you and your wife, even though me and her was friends. I'm not gonna call past a certain time, even though we're friends. Like it's just it's boundaries. That's what I'm trying to say. I think it depends on the people and they have to be mature enough to handle it. Because it ain't for everybody. I don't care how mature you are. If you are a person who has jealousy issues or has past hurts that you haven't dealt with, I don't care what it looked like, how the person is. I don't care how genuine they are. I don't think it's going to end well because of those insecurities that haven't been dealt with.
Right. You can't help jealousy is whew, that's a whole different monster.
Listen, that need to be our next topic next week.
Jealousy is a
Them
whole
them what you call them?
whew.
The 7 deadly sins.
Yep. Jealousy is a mud, but oh yeah. Ooh, oh yeah.
Cause people, it's all of that.
Yeah, I'll tell
Anyway,
you.
that my answer to the question is I think that it can be possible depending on the people involved, but I don't think that it's common. I really
That's a
don't.
real good answer. I would agree with you on that.
I don't think it's common because of all the dynamics that come into play, where it may start one way and another. So, yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
It said, do you think it's possible for a man or a woman to, when they're married in relationships, to have really close friends of the opposite sex?
All right. If I gun in my head, I will almost say no. I would say no. Oh, and don't get me wrong, I do have friends that are the opposite sex, but like I would say almost like in that gray, like almost intimate level to like where we do stuff together. I'm doing with my spouse. It wouldn't work. And even though that some people don't feel like that they're like jealous, and this is my personal belief, I feel it develops. You know what I'm saying? So like I would say no. And then it's just so dangerous. Like I said, just because that person like you can develop feelings and stuff will happen. Or like you even don't want your spouse to like have that uncomfortable thought like, hey, this could happen. Or like, hey, there's a possibility. You know what I'm saying? So like, even though like, all right, this person opposite sex, I'm not saying you can't be friends, but boundaries definitely got to be there because you and that person may not think y'all might not do anything, but I don't feel comfortable. Or it could be one day that, hey, I make you feel some kind of way, and that person knows everything about you or how you may feel, and something may happen that you're not ready for. You know what I mean? A lot of people
Yep.
find love
Mm-hmm.
in their friendship because they know them. You know what
Yep.
I mean? Like when it comes down, let's say, we got somebody who likes you and somebody you're friends with. I don't stand a chance against that guy as far as knowing you, what you like, how you like certain things, whatever. Like look at every movie that we watch. Who end up getting the girl? The friend or somebody that knows you or that watch you and observe you, and that's the friend. So no, I don't
Shut
feel
the
comfortable.
noise. Shut the noise. So while we was up here talking, I took the test.
And what does it say? Come on, shut the noise.
It says physical touch. These questions are some trick questions. Like, touch the, you want to hold on, grab on the booty? Yeah. And I'm like, oh, dang, I guess physical touch. But it's close. I
No,
got
you
20.
got to read what it means, what they say about it.
Okay, this is what it says. It says,
But wait, hold on. Mac, are you done? I guess so.
yeah, I guess he is done.
He said, yeah.
He's like, yeah. He's like, God, interrupted me. I'm going to 5 foot up. It says physical touch. Well, I go by the percentages. So it's the 5 of them. And this, I'm going to tell you how close it was, though. Physical touch was 23%.
Mm.
And it says this language isn't all about the bedroom. A person whose primary language is physical touch is, not surprisingly, very touchy. Hugs, pats on the back, hold hands, thoughtfully touches on the arm, shoulder, or face. They can always be. They can all. I'm sorry. They can all be ways to show excitement, concern, care, and love. Physical presence, accessibility are crucial, while neglect or abuse can be unforgivable and destructive. Physical
Mm.
touch fosters a sense of security and belonging in a relationship. That's what that John say. So for me, and then the other, it's 3 of them. That's 20. So it wasn't by that
Mm.
much. That's words of affirmation. So I was right on that a little bit.
Yeah.
Then acts of service, and then receiving gifts. The one that is the one that is the
That's
least 17 is
the main
quality
way you're
time.
talking about.
I was
Wow.
like, dang, I was like, okay, but physical touch. Okay, I guess I can see that because I do like I do like to hug. I like to be close, lay in bed, let's lay up together. You know what I'm saying, be laid up in the arms, watching a good movie, holding each other. Oh yeah, so I guess I can see that. Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, you should put the link so everybody can take that test. I want to see
Yeah,
how
I'm gonna put a
everybody,
list. I'm gonna
so
try to
everybody
see
can
if I
learn a
get
little
that
bit more
link.
about themselves.
Like, dang, I was there because it shocked me. I'm like, shut the noise. This what y'all saying? This is crazy. Now let's see this because I don't really think. I'm gonna be honest. I don't really think we're gonna get to this other topic, but because I'm just so interested on this
Yeah.
one.
You was asking about if you can have a best friend of the opposite sex and
If
still
I
be
can have a
married.
best friend, I think it's really. I think it depends. I think, like you said, in your situation, uh, I had a friend like that we grew up together, and we was friends. But the one thing I could say is that she's married now, but we did have feelings for each other. So I can't confront that. I think that as we got older, because she was supposed to come to my wedding. I told her I was getting married, and then she gave me this long letter, and I was in the
There
back
it
of
was.
the church. I was in the back in the church reading the letter, um, and she told me, "I want you to have the best, yada yada yada." I won't
Mm-hmm.
share everything in there because it's so personal, but
Yeah.
it was. I was like, man, that's how good of a friend that you are, because you said instead of being here and seeing that or doing anything disruptive or trying to pretend that I don't have feelings, I'm going to bow out.
Hmm.
And I like, so
It's a lot of integrity there.
there's a lot, and you
A
know
lot of
what? It's the
character.
stuff that a lot of people ain't got because some people
Yeah.
would have went through it. Like, you know what? I know it, and I'm not gonna be here. Now I'm not gonna be here because I don't want to do it, and blah blah blah. But I just remember that. So I would kind of lean toward what Max said a little bit to say it'll be hard pressed. No, I think it just depends on the feeling aspect because
Yeah.
it's hard when you're around somebody all the time and they become your best friend because you begin to know everything about them.
Yeah.
And if you know they're a good person, it's hard for feelings not to be involved. Men and women are so it's an integral thing. I don't know the way to say it. We do some stuff. Men and women both do some stuff. We like, oh my goodness.
What
But
were we
can men and
thinking?
women be
Yeah.
friends? Can men and women be friends platonically? Absolutely. Absolutely. 100.
Yeah.
As long as you are not attracted to them in
Yeah.
some way. And
Cause that's how my husband, his best friend is.
Mhm.
I met her too. Me and her real cool actually. But it's like that. Like there's nothing there, for
Yeah.
both of us with our best friends. It's like we know y'all real good, but like you're not, like you said, if we were attracted to them and they
It'd be a
were,
major problem.
then it would have been different. It would
It'd
have
be a
been a
major
totally
problem.
different comment. So I agree to both. I agree that no, you cannot have a best friend
It'd be
and be
like brown
married,
sugar. Be like
but
brown
you
sugar.
can. You're right.
Be
But you
like
can
brown
have a
sugar.
best friend and be married.
Because it was awful in brown sugar. I was like, man, dude, like, what are you doing, man?
That
My
was
man even
crazy.
do. He like, man, look,
Yeah.
you love him, don't you? You love him, don't you?
But hey, look, and that and dog, and that shit can just be true. Like let's just say, okay, Felicia and I are friends, right? And we got a great friendship, but we just don't date each other. And
Yeah, he broke up big time.
Yeah.
You might have to repeat it again, fam.
damn, do I really love him? Can y'all hear me?
You sound like a robot. I can't hear
Yeah,
you.
you got.
Oh,
I
y'all
think
can hear
the
me now?
robot like this. Yeah, I can hear you now. I think the
I
robot was
passed
about
it
to be
on to
like,
you. My
yeah,
bad.
Y'all got me
yeah,
now?
yeah. We got you now.
He said what?
I passed it on.
All
My
right,
bad.
yeah. So I hate y'all. But yeah, no, but yeah, like I just think I just think fatal attraction,
Hmm.
fatal attraction doesn't compete with like knowing somebody, understanding somebody, and just having that connection. And a friendship has that way better than any kind of relationship. So that's why it's important to be friends first, and that's why it's so dangerous to have a friend that's of the opposite sex. in my opinion. I listen. I've been there to where I had somebody who was really close to me, and it could happen. So yeah,
Yep,
it could happen for sure.
I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. Now, I know we talking about stuff that we learned and how it helped you in a relationship. But what's some things in your relationship it's another part of that question. I don't know if we really addressed it, but on yourself, not a relationship. What helped you grow or change or realize from you just being single? Because I think one of the most underrated things people do not really have a lot of respect for is singleness. You
Oh
get a
yeah.
lot of stuff done when you're single. So, I mean, for y'all, what do y'all think from all the past relationships? What is the biggest change that affected you while you were single from your past relationships?
You know what's crazy? So before when y'all sent me this, I talked to Crystal and I asked her about the topic. And that was one thing she said. She said I just would have wanted to be like single a little bit longer, like like enjoy like the
Mm.
single life. So I just thought that was dope. Um I think what I learned from being single is like it's it go ahead and go, Felicia, because I want to make sure I get my thoughts right before I
We
get
both trying
spilled
to
out.
get these thoughts because this ain't no let's just say an answer real quick question. This is
Because
think about it for a second.
I wanted to be in a relationship. So I what I can say, how I can answer is like, well, I I just see what's out there. It's like, okay, well, hey, I want to date. What's available? And it's
Mm,
like, damn, like like just see what's out here, what I want to see, or or who would want to be with me. It's like, you know what? Nah. And like for somebody like me to want to be in relationships, I'm 33 and I only really had two, maybe three girlfriends, like actually serious relationships.
mhm.
Like I mean that I would consider serious. I would say probably three. And so like I just have an expectation for a person, or like cause like if you with me, you'll get like there's loyalty, love, or whatever. That's like I said from what I thought. Like this is what you're gonna get. But like I look and just from looking, I'm like some people don't deserve it. So that's what I really learned from just being single. Like, okay, what do you really want? Because at the end of the day, if you think if your criteria is worth something, you know, who are you willing to be with to kind of I don't know, like
You doing good.
I really can't get out because this is a tough question. No, it's a tough question. I wasn't prepared for this question. Okay.
I'll jump in
Yeah,
to
no, you can go
say,
finish.
and
Thank you
I
for
agree with what
yeah,
you're
say the
saying
day.
or what you're trying to say, that you have to really understand that it's a day by day thing, I want to say, because you have this expectation that you want to be in a relationship, but then once you start getting out here, you like, I don't know if that's really what I want, but I do want it. Is that what you're trying to say? Something like that?
Yeah, yep. That's exactly what I'm trying to say. It's like
Okay.
damn, like even like I'm so happy I'm married because like just trying to date somebody now, he will be pregnant and I'll have an STD. Like I'm keeping it a being. Hey, look, I am not, I will not, I'm not gonna lie on this podcast, dog. Like, it's just hearing the stuff cause I'm a freaky person, but just hearing like how people be like having these threesomes and orgies and this little crazy stuff. Like, dog, like, well, I've been doing this, like just hearing chicks that like give their boyfriend to other women and just do all this stuff. Like, golly, like, what did I miss? Or like
how easy it is just to get access, like how easy it is just to get sex with people.
Mm.
You know what I mean? Like I'm like I'll be out here. I would go. So I just like I wanted to be married. I wanted to have be a great wife, which I got. So like so even like just thinking about that, like damn, like what if I wasn't married? So like hey, what if I was single? Like what would I be doing? So that's how I put myself in the spot. Okay, well, this is how it would be.
I learned enjoy being single.
You better not answer with that simple shit. Makes you scatter our brain.
I learned. I'm telling you,
Uh,
and what I mean by that, because I don't want to, no disrespect. I learned, man, appreciate being single.
mm,
It's got its good. I mean, he's got some people like, man, singles for the birds. I'm like, cause you ain't doing single right. If you do it right, you'll be good at that time frame. What it's meant for? It ain't meant for you to be
yeah.
single all your life. You know what I mean? To be honest with you, excuse me. You realize people get single. Oh man, I want to do this. Not single so you could go bang everything. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about when you single, give you that time frame to know and see what you really like,
Yeah.
what you is into. So it's funny that when you said Crystal was like, be single just a little bit longer, and I think that has to do not with someone or anybody who might say that because somebody else might have did that and said they're like, oh, you think you made a mistake? No, it's saying I would have been this a little bit more because it might have maybe I would have did a little more something. Maybe I would have did
Yeah,
something like maybe lived a little bit more life, got a little bit more involved doing this stuff because when you marry, things do little change. People say, "Well, I mean, nothing's going to change." That's a lie. Things do change.
Yeah.
It don't mean that it's getting worse, but it changes. It's life. So
Yeah.
I would just say, man, when you enjoy being single, people out there, I just hate being single. It's funny that you got married people that envy single people and single people that envy
Yep.
married people. I'll be like, because y'all keep looking at the other person's
The
sad.
grass is greener.
Yeah, it's like, come on, man. Just if you just maintain and do what you got to do, you have your day in the sun. Like people want to
Yeah.
get married, like you don't have your day in the sun. But keep in mind, do you want to be just married, or you want to be married to the ideal person? Do you want to be married to the person that is meant for you?
Right.
That's what I would tell people. Or like when you single, you should be working on you. That's what you should
Hmm.
be working on. You should be working on you, seeing where you at, what you like. Because some people so confused. They don't know what socks they're gonna wear, much less who they're gonna spend the rest of their life with for the time frame. Some people need to be single because they got to get that selfishness out of them. Because that's the
Yeah.
number one reason people get
that's a
divorced.
good one.
Because they too selfish.
Yeah.
That's the number one reason people get divorced. I say that all the time. It's selfishness. It's either one person is selfish or both of y'all are selfish. It's either or. So uh, I think that with that single, that's where people will understand, live a little bit more, experience. And what I mean by experience life is have some encounters where you discover who you are as a person at your core. That's what I
That's
mean by that.
exactly what she was saying.
Yeah.
Mhm.
That's
Yep.
exactly what she said. She was
Yep.
like, "Well, I still didn't know myself about this." And
Yeah.
like when you're with somebody, you're trying to focus on their happiness too. Versus like, all right, I want to learn this about myself, or do this about myself. And she was talking about her past relationships. So it was like, all right, I understand. Now it was like, well, shoot, you definitely could have had more time to where you wanted to actually learn and be by yourself.
Yep.
Yeah. I would say for singles, make sure you just embrace it. I think it's a thing of, oh, I'm not where I want to be because I'm not in a relationship. It's this thirst for relationship, but it's like have a relationship with yourself. Have a
Hmm.
relationship with yourself so that you can live your best life by yourself with yourself
Right.
until that season and that time come with whoever you're gonna be with, because you'll be fully developed. You will go through whatever you need to go through. You will deal with all you need to deal with, and then you good. You ready. You know exactly
Yeah.
what you want. You know exactly what you don't want. And it's just a better situation versus where you just like, I'm just so focused on being in a relationship that I can't even live and can't even figure out who I am and enjoy myself because I'm just so focused on I got to get in a relationship. And then for
Exactly.
those who married, understand that your marriage is a blessing because now you have someone who can work with you and you ain't just by yourself. You know, you have somebody who you can partner and team up with and y'all can both carry the load. But at the same time, it ain't no death sentence. It ain't the end of the world. You know, y'all are still individuals, and that's the part of the beauty of marriage. You're getting to the place where you learn how to work together, where it's like you can still go live out your dreams, and I'm gonna still go live on my dreams, and we're still together, and it's still going to be great. And it ain't got to
I
be
think.
just you, me. It's us.
Yep. I think, and like I said, just to even piggyback on that with you, Fifi, like when you learn to love yourself, you can have the option like, all right, well, like, hey, this is the person that I want to be with. All right, hey, you fit. Versus like, you can be like I said successful, but like allow anybody want to be in a relationship with that you want to, allowing you to be in a relationship with anybody. That's what's gonna make you upset and unhappy. Like versus like, I got this love for myself. This is the guy that fits me and my happiness versus like, all right, any guy that want to be in a relationship with me, I'll be happy. And that's how
Mm.
people get fucked up.
And that's I think the biggest thing. Most people, especially when you're younger, that's why I tell people don't be so much in a rush to grow up. You got, especially when I'm like, man, you're gonna have your whole life to be an adult. You're gonna have your whole
And
life to
you
have
gonna want to go back
responsibility.
as soon as you get there. Like, oh,
Like,
this
man,
responsibility, you can
you
take
gonna
it
be like, man, give me this contract back. I'd rather be first. So
back.
I would just tell people like, really, that's why I said for me, that's what the singleness helped me with. It's just understanding that, hey, I know what at least I know what I want. I ain't trying to pretend, because I'm doing it. Because most people do stuff, pretend to be a certain way in the hopes that somebody it'll kind of pacify a person they want to be with, and it don't work because you ain't gonna be happy doing it. Whatever you're not at your core, it's gonna eventually come out. You're like, man, I ain't happy doing this.
That's a fact.
I'm
That's
like,
a fact.
I'm
Yep.
not happy doing this. Like I'm sitting here with you, and being this way and everything else of that nature, and you just ain't gonna. It's gonna be like, oh, this ain't coming out because you can't fake. You can't fake who you are, but you can definitely fake what you ain't. And I think that, like I said,
Oh,
with the single stuff,
Mm.
when you have it so much, like I remember being single after divorce, after I got divorced and I was doing, I went to being single. It was awesome. You can ask any, like all my boys is around me. I was in a great space in terms of I was it was Randy. You know what I'm saying? I
Mm.
never realized that I didn't like the arrogance and the confidence and the cockiness was cool, was like it felt like it was like a fog for me for a little
Mm.
because what I realized after it was said and done, it was some things I wasn't happy about with Randy.
Yeah.
There was a lot of unresolved issues dating back to childhood, especially like
Yep.
with me and my father. So when those things came about, when those things came to the surface, or some other things, I'm like, oh, that's why. Definitely in your singleness, go get counseling. Go talk
Mm.
to therapists. Definitely, I would tell them. Even now, you married, but I would say definitely that was the biggest decision I made when I started going to therapy, and it got exposed. I was like, boom, a whole bunch of stuff
I,
came up. It was off.
Can you speak on that? Because I feel like a lot of people feel like I can't go to no stranger talking about my business.
I was just about to talk about that, Fifi.
Hmm.
So
Man,
many people feel like it's not helping. Like, what I need to do that
ther-
for? What's that gonna change?
therapists will open up doors that you never thought that was there. And also, Fifi, to like, I ain't want to cut Randy off, but like you answered it, I just wanted to jump on it. Like when if I'm if I'm going through like I feel like I got my fellas to talk to when I go through some stuff, and I can feel better. But at the end of the day, Like I'm not saying they won't be fair, but they will always see it from my side.
Mm.
And I feel like with a therapist, they're gonna go ahead and not saying that they won't be like fair, like my guys ain't fair, but it's like this is who you like. They don't have a skin in the game. They don't have the side.
Mhm.
So like I said, that's where it's like, all right, it opened doors that you don't know was there. Like, well, hey, did you? Well, this didn't mean that when you said that, or like, she didn't take it that way when you did this, or like,
Mm.
why did you do this? How you felt when this happened? And it's like, well, damn, like, okay, this is why this happened. This is why I responded that way, even though it might not even be there. Or hey, maybe this was there and I didn't see it.
Right.
That's I almost say that's the power of going to therapy. You get to see stuff that wasn't there, or you had saw something that was never there in the first place.
Mm.
But yeah, man, my bad. Go ahead, continue.
Oh no, you good. I
That was
think what I
good.
would tell
I
people.
just wanted to jump on that.
Oh no, no, shoot, we good to go. It's I like the phrase that you use talking about open up doors that you never knew was there, and it's funny because the therapists don't open the door. You do. What happened is that you get to talk, and the therapist is just listening
That's it.
because he what they want you to do. Um, and like shoot, shout out Dr. McLeod, um, who has been my therapist. Man, wow, 2012 since 2012, and what make him so incredible was that as I sat there, he just asked. I remember the very first question. First, he said, "How are you doing?" And I know some people say that's something that people ask every day. People ask it every day, but they don't ever listen. Majority of people don't listen to that. Like, how are you doing? Because it just became a everyday salutation. Hey, how you doing today?
Yeah.
And I got up and I got to talking. He just asked things, and then he was listening. And I remember before I was talking, and then the beauty of it is that they'll repeat back what you said, and I love this because you know how often we talk but don't listen to ourselves. We'll be rambling and just talking and talking. All of a sudden, they're like, "Hey, you just said that," and he read it back to me like, "No, you just said that." Like I could say in the like to even answer Fifi question a little bit more. I think especially it's other communities that find it like some type of way, but I don't think no one more than a lot of communities of color who have been so reliant on just saying you need to
Suck
pray
it up.
it away.
Oh, that too.
Yeah.
And I believe that's absolutely a portion of that. Being
Mm.
prayerful and being faithful. Absolutely.
It's the phrasing for me.
Yeah.
The away.
The away. I'm like, what
You can't.
you need to do is because I'll use this example and then I'll get back to what I was saying. One of my most favorite scriptures in the Bible, or one of the most real, one of the most life experiences in the Bible I saw and read was through when Jesus was in the Garden of Gethsemane. Anybody, if you ain't read to some people is reading like, oh, blah, 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 blah. Nah, if anybody have any
25 on
question
5, please.
that Jesus felt everything that we felt, Gethsemane eliminates any doubt that that isn't true. It's absolutely true. What I noticed in there is that in there he was saying he was grieved to death, which that's basically in other terms, man, he was worried out his mind. That's
Yeah.
what he was saying, man. I'm worried out my mind because it's something is I know tomorrow I gotta die. Picture that. I'm on other people. I know we ain't talking about that, but just understand this completely.
Hmm.
He knew that tomorrow, the next day, he was gonna die. He was grieved. He said grieved beyond death. That means even the thought of death, he was even more nervous past that. And he said, "Look, I gotta pray." He like, man, I'm praying because I gotta get comfort. Because guess what? In that time frame, see, people don't catch this. And I ain't trying to preach. People don't catch this. But the part that the people don't catch about this is he wasn't hearing from God at this time frame.
Yep.
Anyway, I'm gonna get out of that for a minute because that's another day, another hot topic. But what I did notice, because I was about to get excited, glass about to come off. But it was I just don't think people understand that it's a concept of understanding it's a disbelief. Like you
Best
almost
word.
you surprise yourself. So with going to we're going to a therapist, and I'll tell people this. And Mac hit it really good. And I could, like I said, I could speak of it because I'm telling I'm saying you from a straight personal standpoint. Is that it's amazing to talk to somebody that don't know you. And it's a judgment-free zone. They ain't judging you. They never met you a day in your life. They listening to you. So all they going by is what they're hearing.
Mm-hmm.
They're not interrupting you. They're not trying to give you a sound like, okay, well, this is the plan to get it written. No, they want to hear everything so they could get a good grips of everything that's going on because they're listening to you. They don't know you. Ain't no preconceived notions about you. It's, hey, how you doing? And I'm listening. And then that's what's going on. Because now, most of the time frame with what I would tell people with therapy is you really telling the things and unlocking the doors of some things you closed it on a long time ago. A lot of stuff I noticed that was being said in that therapy session, I had locked up and didn't realize I locked it up. And that's sad because we do that a lot. We'll get to the point where we bury something so deep.
Forget it's there.
You forget. Do you realize like, bam, like it took me the biggest and one of the strongest things is I realized, dang, I remember saying it because he read it back to me. I'm like, Randy, did you just hear what you said? And I remember just sitting because it was just so confident because that's the biggest thing I tell you. You will get to rambling, but it's a controlled ramble. Because you asking the questions and they talking. The thing that he said the most, and I remember saying, I'm like, yeah, I remember going and looking out in the crowd, and I remember hearing my dad cheering. He talking and doing this stuff, and I was like, man, oh man, I hate that nigga. And I didn't realize I had said that till he read it back.
Mm-hmm.
He like, you said you had it, like, bam. And then when I said, like, hey, I said that.
I really told you that?
Then I went to talking because then that opened up that gate to all the things the reasons why I was hating him. Like, I remember this, I remember that. I was like this and that, and went in detail about some things that never told a soul because I internalized it.
Wow.
I think therapy is outstanding for everybody, but particularly African American males, Latino males, and a lot of males of color who have been going through a lot of traumatic experiences in this country. I ain't talking about just police. I'm talking about before police. I'm talking about inside your home. I'm talking about inside schools and families that you never did because your family told you to
What?
keep your
You
mouth
gotta
shut.
ring that bell, dog. You gotta ring that bell,
That is
dog.
crazy, man.
That. Ooh.
It's a
And you
lot of.
know,
It's crazy.
and the thing is that I think for and even for a black woman, they take for granted like what we actually go through once we step out that door and like go to work or do whatever. It's like, and yeah, we can tell you about it, but like I said, we were told to suck it up, leave it alone. Like, why you thinking about it? Or maybe have these outlets, but you don't know what's against us once we leave our home. Or even like I said, once we get home, you gotta have this preconceived notion that hey, this still gotta be done and taken care of, which we still do.
Mm-hmm.
But at the end of the day, like I think I was just telling Randy, like even just like I manage people of color, people that aren't of color. And it's like I still get the same treatment. Like I have to earn a respect or earn a title versus actually I have it, so it need to be respected. Like we always get disrespected first before we actually, or we have to prove ourselves first.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
I never see that with a white man.
Yep.
And not even make it about race, but like if me and another white guy had the same position, right? And or even we have the same wife, I have to prove that I'm a good husband. I have to prove that I'm a good supervisor or a good coworker, or whatever. Like this stuff I have to prove.
Right.
And it's so like it's so insulting, but yet like I'm numb to it because I understand it. It's like damn, like well, why I gotta prove that I'm good, or I gotta prove that I can do this, or I gotta be disrespected, or or you get put in the light to prove that I'm good or that I'm better than certain things, and people don't have to go through that. Like especially like being in the marriage, like and not to even like put like black women in this, but like when we go face the world, when we go face the world, I feel like we don't have you to really count on because we have to still prove something to you as well. So you really have nobody for real if they're not if they can't relate to you. Like, and that's why like even like me and Derek, like we so close because I'm like this somebody in the same position that looks like me, the same age, and he gets it. But I'm me having to say it. But like it's safe to say that his wife may not get it, and my wife or girlfriend at the time or even now may not never understand it. It's like we're the most disrespected like species walk on this earth from everybody, black, white, Latino, Spanish, Indian, from all across the world. We're the most underappreciated first. We got to prove ourselves first. We got to take the cuts first. We got to take the the turn the other cheek first. And I just think it's fucked up that we're so used to it that we don't think it's unfair at this point. That's why we deal with this trauma. And we may not know what's there because we don't think it's trauma.
That
And
was
it is.
good.
Because we've been taught to do, because we've been taught to do something else with it. And I think I'm glad Fifi. I don't even know where this came from. Dang, we having some good topics. Fifi's like, man, discuss this therapy, but but it's the truth because like that's why I said that they really need it because men of color. This is why I'm putting my Latino brothers in there too. I really am. I've dealt with it in really every man, especially when you guys even. I would go. I would say those guys the most because it's a level of fake masculinity
That's good.
that's been placed upon males, especially moreover black males, that we told that world famous phrase, suck it up.
That's such a detrimental word. Like,
Suck it up.
man,
Come on, dust it off. You ain't got time to cry. And yet you got these guys in all these action with all that false masculinity because they never addressed anything that was bothering them.
man.
It come out in all these other highly disruptive ways with killing, Never knowing how to handle these things that's going through their mind frame. If I'm pissed, this is how I handle it. I got to get away with it. I gotta do it. It's in every aspect because people don't know these guys. Name somewhere else. Name another place where they say, "Man, I don't care." In the hood, it's like, "Man, every guy get tried in school, man. You gonna get tried. You got to be ready. Get ready to put up your hands. Ready to do this and all this other kind of stuff." I used to see guys that used to get picked with all the time. It'd be the same person pick. I'm like bully and all this other stuff. And what you realize he bullying on them because it don't ever fail. That's what's going on at home with him. Somebody is bullying him at home. Could be a stepfather, could be a father, could be somebody else. But I've seen it all the time. So when they get to school, they see somebody who resembles how they feel at home, like that sense of weakness. That's why they messing with the same person all the time. I remember in Joyce, shout out Joyce Elementary, is it was what was this guy named? Derek. Derek was like overgrown. You know, not every kid looked like they overgrown majority of the time, but Derek was just he was just big for a fifth grader. I mean, he was about the same height, but he was just big. And he was to pick with this guy named Edwin every day. I mean, he would just he would walk by his locker, smash his face into the locker. And I mean, one day I went by and I saw a couple of guys was laughing, but one day I was in gym, and if y'all know anybody that know Joyce, our lunchroom and gym was the same room.
Mm-hmm.
They just folded up the things and put it. They had a basketball room. So we was in the gym playing, and I remember, I can't believe I still remember the story as a kid. He was just like, I was like, man, he'd be all right with everybody else. Seemed like he was cool, they laugh and joking, but every time he saw Edwin, he would transform. Now I even see it. No, I was like, oh, I'm like, hold on, y'all. So he would just actually lead the game, go over there, like, go on, Evan. What's going on, Evan? Come on, come on, man. Oh, you acting like a little beat. I'm like, and Evan just be saying all the time. I remember one time they asked Mr. Brown, went up to him and asked, like, what's the problem? What did Evan do to you? Evan like, I haven't done anything. I haven't done anything. Evan in tears. And man, I just remember that just be like, man. So when I saw that, it kind of bothered me.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember the next, I even stopped messing with Derek. I'm like, man, that ain't cool. And one day I even just said it to him, like, man, why you keep bullying? Why you keep bullying? He ain't doing nothing to you.
Yeah.
And I didn't like him. And I remember we got on the playground, and this time for him, I couldn't take it no more. He did to him. So I pushed him. I'm like, man, you have to bully me then. You want to bully, then let's bully me then. Like, I'm ready. And he was gone, and I already knew Derek was really not really about that. He stayed over there, but he really wasn't about that over there. I'm like, man, you just doing that because you're a big guy. And you thinking everybody over here think, oh, they big. I'm like, that don't mean nothing to me, man. My dad named Randy Johnson Sr. I got bigger issues, man. I'm like, I ain't going home like, bro, you about to get taken care of.
Yeah.
So I remember that we fought.
Either you or me.
Yep. And I remember after we got done fighting, Derek never said another word to me again, which was cool. But he didn't mess with Edwin too, because me and Edwin started getting a friendship. And then as we get older, Edwin got older and stuff like that. And then Edwin, and the reason why I know Edwin so well is because Edwin committed suicide, everybody.
Wow.
Edwin ended up moving. We got letters while we was that was my first year at Martin Luther King High School. We had kept in touch because Edwin had outstanding grades, everything, but Edwin ended up committing suicide. He was supposed to start at Renaissance. I got accepted into King. He went to Renaissance, and that summer,
That's sad.
He committed suicide.
Wow.
To this day, no, I never seen nobody bully him again after that because he went to barber too, and he was cool. Every now and then, people always try to see the pic, but I just remember some things. He's like, man, I'm trying to do this. I wish I just like, man, you the smartest person in this school, bro.
Yeah.
Get out of here, bro. And then to find out he commits suicide, and going to my first, like really, and that was my second because my Uncle Greg had passed. But my next funeral, going to his funeral and seeing this guy that's my age inside the casket, and like realize that, man, this guy just killed himself.
Man.
I'm like, that's my first spirit. So when people say this killing themselves stuff started happening, that's a lie. People was doing this.
Oh, it's been
back
happening.
then.
Yeah.
We just know people just never paid attention to it because they was like, it was so like, you know what I'm saying, it was so rare. But the problem is he just did what now, and that's the topic we're gonna talk about next week because we ain't gonna have time to talk about that topic. What's going on with so many young people, especially black males, right now, is that it is a huge level of depression amongst young men. They say women, but it's a lot of young men. They don't want to tell you the numbers on black males because it'll be startling for a lot of people because it's not reported. Black males don't go talking, hey, man, I'm depressed. You got a few more coming out talking about it, but what they do is they take it out in different ways. I got to take it out in this way. Let me tell you something. When a young man goes to a gas station, and we done for the night, y'all. But when a young man goes to the gas station, we talked about this. 15-year-old guy, another 15-year-old guy, get into an argument. Say, we're going to fight one of these days and all this other good stuff. And it gets to the point where another young man, 15, let me remind y'all, that's like 10th grade. That's like 10th grade, y'all. Takes it upon himself to track the whereabouts of this guy he said he going to fight. To the point he know he going to a gas station at a certain time through social media because he snapped a picture and saw he's up there.
Crazy.
Goes up there with a throwaway 9 millimeter.
Wow.
And shoot him a couple of times. Even when the gun jams, attempts
to keep killing him.
Unjam the gun so he could shoot him more. I have to count the seconds. Just in case a lot of y'all don't know. I had to count the seconds to really get a understanding of what happened. It was over 90 seconds. That's kind of a lifetime when you're doing something like that. To cock it so he could shoot it again. When they wouldn't shoot, trying to uncock it again. And boom, and then walk away from the gas station that has cameras everywhere. Man, if that don't tell you that it's something mentally, but even deeper spiritually going on in somebody's head to feel like, man, this is what I got to do. We 15 years old and I got to end this other 15-year-old's life because of an argument. It's something wrong. That's some deep-seated issues in a community where people look around them, they see abandoned houses, they see poverty, they see their mother being a certain way. I'm talking about on the bad aspects of it. Might see his mama hoeing, might see his mama's doing drugs, might be getting abused by his mama. Let's not forget, people talk about men, every time it comes to abuse, it's a man doing it to somebody else. But there's a whole bunch of mamas out here that be smacking up their sons, doing all type of things where he just taking it like, bah, bah. I hate to tell y'all, that's abuse. That ain't discipline. That ain't discipline when you're smacking, you're degrading your kids. That ain't what it is. And a lot of these young black men have to become men in their houses at the age of 8? No. These guys are, starving out here. You got these guys out here so much, and then you tell them, man, it's a bad kid. Yeah, he got a bad shake. Okay, he got a bad shake. And I ain't saying this. Guess what? There's a lot of kids. Fifi, y'all know, because you deal with them, just like me, and work with these kids. And you can tell the difference when some kids is like, man, this kid he came into life in mess. And everybody would talk about so much. It's like, man, this brother, hey, man. And some people's like, man, I wonder why people have a heart for this brother, because he never seen better. How he know to do better when he never seen what better is?
Putting that expectation on him, and he don't even have the capacity.
That's unrealistic.
Yeah.
Give him another opportunity. Show him something that's gonna be different. And guess what? give him another outlet, because guess what? He do got some hurting pains. Because when he coming to that school, you have no idea. School might be the only place he getting heat, only place that he get a meal, the only place that he get peace. Because he got to go home, he got to deal with abuse. He got to deal with this, he got to deal with that. He can't be a kid at home because he been told to suck it up. Get it up there, get your kids in order, do this. Maybe his mom ain't abused. Maybe his mom is just a crackhead. Maybe his dad is a crackhead. Maybe they all some fiends. Maybe nobody's there. Maybe both his parents is dead and he's the one that's responsible for his entire family. So you got an 8 to 15-year-old doing the work of an adult, because either the adults that he was, blessed to have dropped the ball or whatever tragic thing happened. So yeah, therapy, to answer that. I know I went a long way around the bush to answer that question, but therapy is needed. Absolutely, yeah. God, all my heart, all day, every day. But you need therapy. You need to be around someone that don't know you, that ain't judging you, that ain't saying that you're crazy, that just ain't saying what you want to hear. Hint, hint. Just ain't saying everything you want to hear, because some friends can do that.
All the time.
They just say everything you want to hear. Oh yeah, I'll co-sign that. I'll co-sign. No, don't co-sign nothing.
Tell me the truth.
Grateful. Be grateful if you got friends that don't co-sign your BS.
Absolutely not. They come for you.
Say like, nope.
You need to pray for them.
Yep. And then
pray for some good friends.
Get to a therapist so you can have someone that don't know you, and you can actually pour out your heart and your story. I just think it's good for your health, because you need to hear some things you need to get out the closet. You need, like, man, I got to get this out of this closet that I hid for so long, get it out of under the rug, because all it's going to do is come out. That's the thing. But it's how it comes out. You want to come out like Mount Vesuvius and blow up over everybody, or you want it to come out because you opening the door and you allowing it to, you taking it out level by level, like, there we go. So that's why I tell people, and like I said, for 12 years, I've been to therapy. And my trigger to go to therapy is when I was just pissed. I was like, I can't be this pissed. I realized this is how I know so much about depression. I knew it because I dealt with it. I knew it because I was like, I'm saying to myself, I don't want to be around nobody, but I wanted to be around people. That's, some people are like, man, that's insane. No, that's depression.
That's what depression look like. But when you don't know what it is, and no, you ain't never seen somebody talk about it, you just think, oh, I'm tripping.
Nope, you ain't tripping.
I just need to get it together. I just need to shake it off.
It ain't no shaking it off. This ain't gonna be no shaking it off. You got to deal with it. And stop being so afraid of what people, stop being so preoccupied with what people gonna think about you. People gonna think about a way about you anyway. You can't stop the way people think. But people don't live in your skin. And when you look in the mirror, it ain't 150 people behind you. It's one person looking at you, and it's you. You got to make sure you get it together for the long term. You need therapy. It's a great thing. You're not crazy. You're crazy when you don't want to admit that you need help. That's insanity. That's like being in a river. You know you can't swim and you're drowning. Oh, I don't need nobody. I don't need no life preserver. I don't need no life preserver. I don't need. Oh, yeah, you do need a life preserver. You do need a life jacket, idiot. You don't need to be out there. That's how life is when you're not getting the proper help. It's like you jumping in the deepest part of the ocean with cement boots on, can't swim, and you trying to act like you don't need help. That's exactly what it is. That's like the captain of the Titanic talking about, yeah, I can see it, but you still hit the iceberg. It's just better. We got to stop lying to ourselves. Just because you're taking on a lot, people will take on a lot and they think that because they're doing a lot, they're getting a lot done. You're not. All you're doing is sinking. It come a point where you got to get the help that you need. I pray everybody you get the help that you need. God got you, and guess what? God has blessed us to have doctors, scientists, and everything else. He's put the same spirit that's inside of them and the gifts that they have on this earth to help people. It's the same thing with therapists and everything else, not just nurses and everything else like that, not just preachers. God has blessed us to have many people with a multitude of talents, and they do it right. And guess what? Some of them people are therapists. You utilize them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And guess what? Even if you use the therapist, still go to the altar.
That's right.
You'd be good to go. I don't know if y'all got anything to say. I'm done. I'm done for the night, man. I love this topic.
Man, that was off one topic. Great topic, man.
Yeah.
I think, like I said, I definitely learned a lot from both of y'all, and just just doing a lot of reflection. So I just can't wait to we get to more topics like this.
Absolutely.
This is what I was looking for, like beginning of the year. Now, yeah, I know we talk about the politics and all the other stuff that cosmetic to what we really want to discuss, but this is what I look forward to.
Absolutely. I agree with you on that. That's why I was
Yeah.
like, man, we can't go to this other talk because this is too good. We get into the roots of things, the things that we have, the things that's not popular.
The unpopular.
Because
Yeah.
normally the things that are the most important will never be popular.
Yeah.
Because it ain't doing a finger pointing. It's actually doing, it's like it's everything pointing
It's
back to you.
thumb.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, here, man, it's going back to me. Like, yeah, there you go. Like, oh, it's going to us because
Yeah.
we need it. Like Max said, we need to, like you said, Fifi, it's like we need to get down to the roots of things. And I think that's what we're going to attack. I don't know, we got Black History Month coming up. But I don't want to just say or do something like famous Black people in this. What I want to do, I want this next month for Unfiltered and all of our groups, we're going to call this Black Healing Month.
Come on. Yes.
There's going to be Black
Yes.
Healing Month. Every show we do is going to be addressing us getting healing.
Amen.
This is what we're going to address. This is what we need. I'm so glad Mac just said that. This is what we need. We need to be getting healed. And guess what? This just ain't for Blacks, to all my people out there, white, every national, everybody. This ain't just for them. It's for all of us. It's time we get some healing. 2 years. I ain't talking about COVID. I'm talking about some spiritual. I'm talking about some mental and some emotional healing. This is what we need right now. We need this. We need to come to some hard truths and say, yeah,
Yep.
that's an issue. So starting next week for Black Healing Month, for just the healing month for this period for Black History Month. Great doing it. I think Black history and every history is every month. So I want to get caught in that on that cliche, but it's going to be straight up healing month. That's what all our topics going to be about. We're going to get to the root of a lot of different things. It's going to be spiritual, mental, physical, emotional, financial. We're going to have some hard discussions, the ones that we need to have. Like, why do we love hating so much? Why are we so comfortable with hating someone that we don't even talk to no more? Why are we so comfortable with those things? Why have it become, why do we make misery one of our best friends? Why do we consistently go with the same people over and over again and then want to blame everyone else, but never want to look inside ourselves to why we like that type of person? Those are the things that we need to talk about. Those things we need to talk about. Not, you know what I'm saying? It's all right to talk about this issue and that issue, but it's time for us to get to the root
Make it
of our
personal.
own issues. We got to make it personal. Like you said, Miss Hills, we got to make it personal out here. It's only good for us. No matter how many views or eye peeps and numbers and up come up in there, that's what we doing next month. It's all about here on Unfiltered, getting to the root of it. So if I'm telling y'all going to be in for some great shows coming up. So definitely tune in because we're going to have some healing shows. We're going to get to some truths that some of y'all maybe don't want to face. Maybe we don't want to face, but we're going to get to them. One of the first topics that we're going to have next week, we're going to get to. We're going to talk about them seven deadly sins. We're going to see, why do we like the sins that we enjoy so much? Because it's hard to let go of the sin that you love the most.
Mhm.
Why you like being gluttonous? Why is wrath your best friend?
Okay.
Because people, I'm true. I could raise my hand on that. Sometimes anger is
That's
your
that
best
envy
friend.
too.
You know what I mean? Some people get to the anger. You know what I mean? Why we lack self-control? What are these things? Let's dig into it. Let's get into some real stuff. The real dig. My goodness. It's funny that 7 is the number of completion, but it ain't no such thing as completion in sin. So why do we
Yeah, we need to
dwell
end this
in
because we
these
about to get
things?
turned up.
This is gonna be awesome. So next week we're gonna talk
Yeah.
about it. Where do you fall into play? Where does it go? The 7 deadly sins. And why is it referred to as deadly? Now, my people, we're gonna have a great time next week. I'm already on jumping on pin teaser because it's
Mhm.
gonna be straight up Hilling Muffin. Don't get me wrong, we ain't gonna be sitting there. You ain't gonna get this by like, oh, hallelujah. We're gonna get into healing. Everything we're gonna be doing is to get into healing. I am guaranteeing, I'm asking God that every single show that we do this month and up and coming, that we get such a spiritual and a revelation of healing in every single person live, especially ours on here, that it'd be incredible. So I'm expecting some incredible things. Not only that, we are going to get some people on here that I know are going to be in. So be incredibly expecting some incredible guests and some incredible shows. I'm telling you, it's going to be great. Miss Hills, Mr. Reese, do you got anything to say before we get them out of here?
It's all been
Nah,
covered.
man. Hey, everybody. Yep. See y'all next week. Continue to share, like, and subscribe.
Whoa, that was a kid. All right. Y'all have a good day.